Hello and welcome to the evening edition. I'm trying something out. I typically record videos on the weekend during daytime hours because I use natural light from the windows in my home office. But I know that I'm gearing up for a very busy time, and I figured, okay, let's try out some funky lighting and see if I could figure out how to record videos in the evening. So this is one of those. And I've selected to do a VR for this video, and it is a VR to Natalia, my lovey, at Ouroboros, punked by the devil. So at first when I saw her video, I didn't think I was going to do this VR. I didn't think I had anything to say about the devil card in the tarot. And then I discovered I had a lot to say about the devil card in the tarot. So let's start from the beginning. Oh my God, people, get comfortable, get something to drink, eat, whatever. I'm not sure, but this one might be a little bit of a talk. So if you've been watching me for 5 minutes, but if you haven't, I'm going to just give you a quick recap. I got my first tarot deck when I was 16 years old. I had gone for a tarot reading, and I saw Rider-Waite, and she used the Rider-Waite deck, and I thought, oh, these are awesome. I need these in my life. I want to do exactly what she does. Went to a metaphysical shop in my city. Literally, it was pretty easy. I didn't even have to know which deck it was because all they had were these yellow boxes on the shelf of what I remember. Take it home. I'm all excited. I shuffle the deck. And I think the first card I drew was the Eight of Swords. Me and the Eight of Swords, people, we have a very long history together. But then I remember the next card I picked, or maybe I was looking through my deck to get to know, like to look at the images and whatever. And I see this card. The Devil. I'm Italian. I'm of Italian origin. I was born in America, but my parents are both Italian immigrants. I was raised Roman Catholic. Italians with the Roman Catholicism. Even though I had a relative who was a Mother Superior in Rome, my dad's sister, still Italians, they're a different kind of Catholic, as expressed in my book that I wrote. Anyway, being raised in the family that I was raised in, we weren't God-fearing Catholics. No. We were raised as devil-fearing Catholics. We were all Satan-fearing Catholics. We weren't afraid of God. We weren't God-fearing. No. We were afraid of the devil. And in the household that I grew up in, if you uttered the words, I don't believe in the devil, I don't believe in Satan, everybody did the sign of the cross. Because by saying you don't believe, you're inviting proof. In order, you know what I mean? Like, you're inviting misery. You're inviting proof of the devil's existence into your home. So when I saw this card in my first tarot deck, looking just like this, because the card I'm showing you is from a 1980s version of the Rider-Waite. It disturbed me. And I can't say that it didn't disturb me for at least 20 years after that. So what I'm trying to say is that because of my roots, my spiritual roots, even though I had moved away from them, this image remains tattooed on my brain of what I was raised to fear. So, for the first, say, 20 years of reading tarot, this card always meant fear. Whenever this card came up in a reading, it's like I didn't even want to explore what other meanings it could have. It was always about fear. Then later on, interacting with other people that read tarot, and this is in the 90s, I started to explore the idea that it was, some people said, well, some readers said that it meant addiction. I remember one reader I knew really well talked about how the chains are really loose around the people's necks, and they choose to live in fear. They choose to live with addiction, which when it comes to fear, I agree, kind of, but addiction, I do not. I met other readers who interpreted the devil card in tarot to mean being stuck in the mundane world, being obsessed with mundane issues, greed, materialism, the things of this world. In other words, if the tarot card, the devil, was basically when it came out in a reading, was indicating that the person you were reading for, whether it was yourself or someone else, was tied to materialism or not spiritual. You know what I mean? Like that their life was void of spiritualism, that they were just strictly physical creatures living in the physical world, living without spirituality, without God. That too made me just avoid this card. So when it would come up in a reading, whether for myself or someone else, I would just skate by this card, because I wasn't convinced with what I experienced it as meaning, what I read about, what other people were saying. It just wasn't hitting the mark for me. I struggled with this card. I think of all the cards in the tarot, this is the one I struggled with for years and years and years and years, come to an understanding. Another one is Temperance. That's for another video. To come to an understanding of this card. So I got other decks. And this being, the devil. And here's the thing. The devil, because it derives from the original tarot, or whatever we conceive as the original tarot. No matter what tarot deck you buy, if they stick to the traditional major arcana, they'll have a devil card. Even if, how can I put this? This is a Christian concept of the devil. And so when I did my video, I think it was last week, about my religious decks, my Christian or Catholic themed decks, I did mention that the Rider-Waite and the Marseille and the Italian tarot decks are all Christian, because You have an angel, you have a devil, you have a pope. You see where I'm going with this. You have Adam and Eve in the Lovers cards. You have Adam and Eve in the Devil card. See, that's another issue I have, is that there's this couple is present in the Devil and it's present in the Lovers card, which also harkens back to that whole original sin. And it just wasn't, it's just not enough for me. It just wasn't enough. It can't, and the fact that I was drawn at such an early age to esotericism and the metaphysical world, it just wasn't enough for me. It was like, why is there a freaking devil card in this deck? Why? And then I got other decks, and my other decks also had a devil card. And I'm going to include some. These are all pretty contemporary compared to Rider-Waite, right? Let me start with okay. Let's go to one that is related to. No, I'm going to leave that one alone. Let's go to one that is cute. This is my hoi polloi. Here's a devil. He's hot pink. He's psychedelic. He's crazy, man. He's rock and roll. He's very metal. But the fact that when I read, in a reading, when the devil shows up, that I have to contrive a meaning for this card because I'm no longer in that environment where I've been deprogrammed of being devil fearing. I don't understand this card's place in the major arcana. Or I didn't understand this card's place in the major arcana until I got different decks. Until I started to explore outside of Rider-Waite decks. So one example would be when I got, I think this is when I got this one. This is from the Raven's Prophecy, also called the Devil. But it's a mask, and you can see eyes behind the mask. You could see that there's, I don't know if you can make it out, but there's a person wearing this mask. Now, I don't find this mask particularly creepy, but the fact that it obscures the person's face and they're hiding behind this mask, for me, I interpret that, the devil card may mean the things we do that are not necessarily who we are, and therefore we wear a mask in order to do these things that we probably are not proud of. Which still kind of ties in with the whole sin, concept. Then I got some cute ones, right? It's like, this is Tarot of the Magical Forest. And I look at this card. Again, this is like just copying Rider-Waite. It's the same imagery. You got the devil, you got the individual's chained, the chains are loose around the neck, so it's a choice. So what is this saying? Is it saying it's a choice to do evil? We're making a choice to do something that's wrong or evil? Again, it's the good and bad, right? And that doesn't align with how I see things. Because even in magic, for me, magic is neutral. Magic is not good or bad. It's neutral. And when you practice magic, You could bring morality into it, or you can leave morality out of it. Magic just is. And what you choose to do with it, magic doesn't judge you. Magic just is an energy that flows in the direction that you guide it into. So, still, oh yeah, this is the Centennial, which I think is, I don't like the original deck I had. I keep a copy of one of those 1980s plaid backs, but I might be moving that on too. But anyway, that's another conversation. All right. Other devils. Then there's this devil. To further add to my confusion, this is from the Animal Wise Tarot. The devil is Raven, which already I'm thinking, shape-shifting and light and dark. Okay. Light and dark. Gives me something to think about. Well, we wouldn't be able to see the light. We wouldn't be able to perceive light without darkness. And I'm not going to go into what the guidebook says about this. I'm just going based on just imagery, the choice of imagery. So I'm still at that place until, I'm still walking you through my whole thought process of, well, I was raised to fear the devil and that the devil means evil, and that we all have this evil inside of us that we need to tame. Or we need to eradicate, rather. But where does that fit? You see? I had a lot of trouble figuring this out. So then I got different kinds of decks. And I didn't bring all my decks. I didn't pull the devil out of all my decks. But, the ones that... So there was this one. And this is the Herbal Tarot. And the devil is not the devil, it's Pan. That gave me a little bit more of a hint of what this archetype is meant to be. Now, if I look at it through the lens of someone who was raised Catholic, I look at this and say, of course, Pan is demonized. But if I don't look at it through that lens, I see Pan as being a very earthy spirit, a very earthy, very earthy spirit, tied to a very animalistic, very human, very in this realm, in our plane of existence, spirit, a fertility god, sexuality. See, now I'm thinking, okay, hang on. When I think of all the major arcana, okay, well, there has to be, if it's 22 archetypes, there's got to be one for the physical plane. And if we're going to talk about the physical plane, then it makes sense to have an image that represents fertility and virility and the sex drive. This is Tarot of the She. Now this is another Pan. And this is the most evocative of the, major arcana 15 that I own. This I understand. This makes sense. This and the Thoth. creation, the moment of creation, but in the physical realm. So nowadays, when I read for myself or I read for others, doesn't matter what deck I'm reading with, when this card comes up, experientially, what I've learned over the years, that this card usually comes up. First, it starts this thought process, or this guidance. First and foremost, for me, starts as the Queen of Pentacles. When I see the Queen of Pentacles in a reading for myself, it is the guidance I'm receiving is that I'm not taking care of my physical body, that I'm not taking care of my physical world, my health. Usually the Queen of Pentacles is just me, the individual, and that I'm not taking care of those processes, which are health, home, the day-to-day. That I'm like too much up here. I'm too much in the Queen of Swords, and I'm not inside my world. I'm not in touch with my world and my body. So that'll be the first card I get in terms of a warning, or whether it's for me or for another person. And even when, doesn't matter what gender I read for, it's the Queen of Pentacles that comes up as the gentle nudge, as you need to be taking care of your health. You need to be taking care of your physical body. When was the last time you had a pedicure? It's that kind of nudge. Ignore that nudge long enough, and this guy appears. And this card has come to mean, in the readings that I do, and I can only speak for myself, this is the card that's come to mean you have lost complete touch with the mundane world. And may I remind you that you are of the mundane world, that you are of flesh and blood, and you need to get out of your head and get out of the clouds, come back to earth, and take care of business. And that is what this card means. This is what I learned from working with this card. So it was when I saw this one, the Thoth, and I looked at it and I thought, oh my gosh, this one is just smacking me in the face with it. See, this one is absolutely clear what the Devil card means. It's absolutely clear. It's the creative force, but the physical creative force. This one's pretty vague. Very vague. This one, I only figured it out by living life and by paying attention every time it came up over 30-something years of reading cards. Imagine, right? Had I picked up this one, I probably would have learned this lesson a lot quicker. Punked by the devil. This guy. All right, that's my small contribution to the hashtag punked by the devil. I hope something I said is of use to you and how you view the devil card. I look forward to continuing to watch other people's thoughts on the devil card in tarot. I have to say though, now that I've deciphered the devil, it took me a long time to decipher the devil. I need to decipher Temperance. All right. Because when I look at temperance, I'm thinking it's more than just balance, which is, moderation. It's way more than that. It's beyond. It's way beyond what it appears to be. Just like the devil. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm wishing you all a beautiful day. Bye-bye.